we should welcome him, right?
And I just think through his experience, he'll be able to then, it's not like we're even trying to change his mind, but it's just saying like, I'm so confident in what hip hop does for people that I would just simply just invite him into the room and be like, bro, just check this out, and then tell me how you feel. And now let's have this conversation after you just had this experience. Which maybe his views will change, maybe they won't, but I think the effort is important, and I think we can't just always be jumping the gun and fight fire with fire all the time and try to use aggression to get real life world situations changed, because we've seen this for years and it's never really helped anything. You know what I mean? So
right.
At some point we gotta learn that doesn't work all the time.
Yeah, I feel like we should have healthy discussion, So I mean, whoever out there, invite Ben Hart, hit him up. I don't know his contact information, and that's the thing. Is like I feel like we put too much value to Ben Hart's name. You know what I mean? Like I didn't even know who it is. Right. You don't know now. You know. You know what I'm saying? Like you really like adding value to somebody like Ben Hart, when in reality, if, just don't even say nothing until you see him and then talk to him, or hit him up privately, right? And approach it in a way that's more educational and show him why that's, his view might be hurtful, because there's a lot of brothers and sisters in our country, in our culture that's undocumented. You know what I mean? Max One was one of them. Rest in peace to, brother like Max One, For sure. And Max One, a lot of times, he would gripes about the system, how he's being treated, And so I think those are the stories that, somebody like with opposing views may once they know, they'll be like, wait, let me, maybe I got it all wrong. You know what I'm saying? And it's a journey, right? And so maybe 5 years from now, it won't take just one day. It's going to take, days or even years or decades for somebody to be part of this, to even really understand what this is about. Because, man, even just the dance itself is just so much information. Now imagine the whole culture, especially somebody who never grew up, from that. You know what I mean? And somebody who's from the outside coming in, there's so much they have to learn. We can't expect. Our expectation of them is like, oh, you got to learn it now, today, and you got to know it all, and know how we feel. And, like, we can't expect that so much where, we came from different worlds, right? His world, how he grew up, might totally different from how we grew up, right? And we can't expect him to understand our world and just like that. You know what I mean? It's gonna take many journeys. It's gonna take uncomfortable dialogue, between different brothers and sisters with him, or not with egos, not with pride, but really get to understand each other. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of brothers and sisters need to approach it on that aspect when it comes to that type of mentality. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna block them out, and your main focus to have them to understand what we're about and what this hip hop is about, man, you just done fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just outcast him. He's gonna be like, see, told you so. It's like, be a better example and lead by example and represent our culture the way it should be represented, and have dialogue. I mean, that's the thing. But for me, I have no problem with brothers and sisters talking about it. You know what I mean? Because they have every right to talk about it. At the end of the day, it's a free country from both sides, right? Hey,
sure.
Once people find out about his views, they're allowed to speak on it. You can't censor, because hip hop is not about censorship. hip hop is very unfiltered at the end of the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even the statement hip hop is the voice of the voiceless. That's political in itself.
Right.
You know, and I'm sure you heard it. The voice of the voiceless. That's hip hop. Like, because there was nobody to speak for us. You know, hip hop is what empowered the streets. You know what I'm saying? To have a voice. You know, and it comes back to government policy. You know what I'm saying? That kind of play into society, and then it hit the streets and hit the hoods, and you know how they're burning the buildings down. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All of that is politics, man. You know what I mean? So yeah, it gets deep. That's the key here, for him to understand the pain, right? Like once he understand the pain, then he kind of on a human level, right? On a human level, forget Republican, Democrat, what have you. You know what I mean? And honestly, sometimes like when it comes to economic policy, I'm more of like on the right. You know what I mean? When it comes to social issues, I'm more liberal. You know what I'm saying? For me, for social issues, it's more like for the people. You know what I mean? But I hate big government. I hate tax. We all hate tax. We all hate. I mean, if you really think about hip hop, we don't like big government. Even the way hip hop is, when it comes to that, is like that's a Republican point of view, right? No big government. You know, stop taxing us. You know what I'm saying? That's more of a far right. But when it comes to social issue, more like, you know, pro-choice, what have you. That's more, you know, hip hop in a way has more of that left, you know, liberal, you know, approach to the culture. You know what I mean? Don't outcast the dude. That's a last thing we should do as hip hop heads. You know what I mean? So in a way, we kind of like I said earlier, kind of contradict ourselves, right? Because we're not for, you know, that whole policy of, you know, building up the wall, what have you. But then we, in a way, we're building up walls for people like him. You know what I mean? So it's like, yo, we gotta lead by example. We gotta welcome him. And
you don't want to fall into that hurt people situation. You know.
Yeah, gotta be proactive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
anytime an issue comes up in hip hop, we should be able to discuss it and confront it properly. You know what I'm saying? And that's just taking ownership and responsibility and a maturity towards the issue. Mm-hmm. You know? And the thing is, like, when we don't do that, then it becomes, you know, something that becomes a larger problem than maybe it should.
Yeah.
And we should, because if we are a community, and like, I mean, we already got me and you speaking about it. You got other people on the outside now messaging as well. So it's clearly, you know, on everyone's radar. So as a community, we should be able to handle and deal with it, you know, and I think that's important. You know, you can't let these things go without some type of talk or even confrontation. I notice a lot of people now are afraid of confrontation or some type of like interaction with other people, because, you know, people do get very passionate about their beliefs, right, or the things that they think about, and it becomes a shouting match or whatever. It doesn't really, you know, nothing really comes out of it sometimes, but it's like battling. It's the same thing. We battle each other. Sometimes we battle each other aggressively, and at the end of it, we respect the fact that you have a view and I have a view. You have a way of doing it, I have a way of doing it. And you know what? Maybe we didn't come to an agreement necessarily, but we learned to respect each other a little bit more because we had a common ground as to where we both feel passionate about something, you know? And all that aggression that just got let out in this battle, we're now able to speak on a level, like all of our energies down here now, so now we can be like, okay, let's actually get to a point, you know? And I think that's important. I think that's something that hip-hop has taught us. So, like you said, like, don't reflect back what this person is putting energy into our circle. You know, this is the cypher, right? We have created all this energy around us, our knowledge, wisdom, understanding of what's happening. Once someone comes in with another type of energy, that starts to disrupt everything else. But we got to learn how to take that back into the circle and you know, kind of shift through it, you know, and figure out what's wrong here, you know. And we can't expect that person to also change their mind immediately. It's going to take time. You know, if you've ever had an issue within yourself, you know that these things take time. You know, if anyone out there has ever changed something within themselves, they know that shit is not overnight. It's impossible.
It's hard.
So imagine trying to change someone else's mind view or trying to change your community's idea. It takes time, and we have to understand these things. And you can't get impatient to where you're now just, you know, making irrational decisions to where, you know, we're not going to get anywhere like that. So you need to understand the time it takes to do things. You need to have those conversations. You need to go through those battles because you'll learn from them. We'll all grow from it, you know, and that's just it, you know. But don't avoid it. Don't try to match the same energy that someone's bringing to you. That's not how it works.
Yeah. And that's the key, man. You know, hopefully, brother and sister, when they see him next time, like, oh, I know your views now. I'm gonna call you out and be all crazy. Like, nah, man. First of all, he's 60 years old. It's like, what's bound him?
Don't take any pride in beating him in a battle.
And all you can do is educate him or her about the pain, about how government policies affect us as a whole, as a community, especially in the U.S., right? Because other governments, like we stated earlier, other governments kind of like fund and all that. In the U.S., they look at us like nothing. You know what I mean? They don't have, they don't put a value on Breakin or hip hop. They just think like, oh, we just a bunch of whatever. You know what I mean? And it takes like brothers like you with the solution. Like, hey, let me bridge that gap. Let me go to the university and add value. And, you know, that's what I'm saying. It's going to take many process and many people collectively to kind of change the mindset. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, you know, you can't expect, you know, like one brother saying, I would feel better about if he didn't write the book about Muslim. I mean, for us, you know, we came from, you know, more of that hip hop. We accept everybody for who they are. His world, and again, it comes back to how he grew up. You gotta understand from their perspective, right? And then once you understand them, it's like, okay, how can I approach it to where he can understand me, right? And understand my pain and how, you know, him being involved in this, how he should open up his, you know, mind to different, you know, perspective as well, you know, and not shut out everybody, and kind of like be on the same old, you know what I mean? And so that's the key thing. The way he grew up is totally different from a lot of us in hip hop. So, and again, like you said, it's going to take a long time, you know.
Which
and it comes back to that.
Invite him into the circle because this could be the experience that
he needs, right? For his awareness, right?
Yeah.
And it comes to that self-assessment. And like you said earlier, it's very hard when it comes to that. How many of y'all out there, you know, self-assess yourself of a habit that you always have and you expect to change the next day? Come on, y'all. Let's be real.
I mean, even just to have the balls to do that is painful, you know?
Yeah.
You're staring at the man in the mirrors, you know, you're dealing with demons. You know what I'm saying? And that's a hard thing to do. And I salute anybody who puts time into themselves like that because it's not easy. If that was the case, everybody would have self-awareness. And we know they don't. Right. So.
Yeah. So the expectation shouldn't, like, yo, you got to change tomorrow. Because his mental habit or awareness might not be on the same level as the YNot. His recollection of the culture aspect, it's not on the same level as a lot of us. So he can't just change overnight just like that. You know what I mean? It's going to take many conversation, many dialogue, healthy ones, right? And along the journey.
For that. You know, we should be here for that. We're here for the smoke.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? If you've ever been in a battle with someone, you know it's longer than one round. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly. It's
you're
going
down
to
for
take
the
many
long
battles as well, right? Many
Yeah.
wars. Like look at Jigs and K Mel. It isn't just one battle. It's like after that, they're going to see each other. Now they good peoples. You know what I'm saying? So many conversation, many dialogues.
It took them
you
to
know
go
what I'm
through that to find an understanding. You know what I mean?
saying?
So
It's very uncomfortable, right? But at the end, I'm sure Ben Hart, if we approach, with that leadership mentality and welcome him, and have deep, human level, healthy, conversation. Come on, he's gonna learn something from it. You know what I mean? Like, come on,
believe
man.
it. I believe that.
Believe it or not, like I have confidence in what hip hop, culture to basically change a lot of minds, including myself. You know what I'm saying? And again, it came from me being from the streets, which is one sided, right? It was very hard for me coming from the streets to get into this culture to work with other people. You know what I'm trying to say? That's not from the streets. You know what I'm trying to say? But it was hip hop that kind of like taught me how to welcome other people's perspective as well, and look at myself in the mirror like, yo, you gotta make some changes about yourself as well. You know what I mean? And it's a journey. Myself today is not the same Tyquan as 10, 15, 20 years ago. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah. So for him, it's going to be the same thing, right? Yeah. And he's coming from the opposite end. You know what I mean? That don't even understand the streets. At least hip hop culture, that has roots in the streets. But I'm sure somebody who never been in the street or even understand it coming in would not understand it. You can't expect them. So it's gonna take a lot of time. So hopefully, we kind of touched on that. I don't honestly this. Hopefully, this is my last time speaking about. Honestly, I don't want to give light to it, because once you give light to it, it's just people gonna know. Oh, Ben Hart, Ben Hart, Ben Hart. Instead of a conversation, instead of you approaching him and teaching him, not teaching, but make him, have that dialogue for him to understand your pain. Yeah. Why those policy kind of like, ruin people like within our community. But yeah, why not? I mean, dang, we just kind of touch base on that low too much.
Yeah, that's cool though. I mean, it's important.
Honestly, I really want to talk about, you, right? And we end up talking about Ben Hart. You know what I mean? Like that. But good. It's all good, because it's somebody feel like they want to have our perspective on it. Then y'all know how we will approach it, right? And it seems like you and I have the same approach, right? Yep. Hey, don't shut them out, yo. Don't build that wall against them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Welcome them in, have that healthy conversation. And
you can't build a wall next to a wall. It doesn't make sense.
yeah. Bro, that's a quote. Can't build a wall next to a wall. Straight up, man. For real. But yeah, I mean, that's... Yeah, I'm glad you're on for you to speak on it, man. Because I value your opinion as well. You know what I mean? Hopefully, the brothers that's asking, that who asked that question, hopefully, you see our approach now to it, or how will we approach it if we have a chance to even speak to Ben Hart. You know what I mean? But yeah, so let's move on. I also been in this culture for 5 years, and I think I have a good understanding of the culture. Not saying I know all, but my teacher thought I was ready. So if you could give me any advice about the culture, I mean, jam ready. He asked that. So you give me advice, understanding the culture. I mean, go ahead. Why not? I mean, I guess that's all you, bro.
I just think if you want an understanding that you have to first try to understand why people call hip-hop a culture. You know, that's how you get a better understanding of what it is. So we always talk about these 4 elements, but do you really think that, you know, drawing, dancing, music, like, do you think those are a culture? Are they aspects of a culture? Are they, like, what are they? You know, I always ask questions. I always tell anyone that I come in contact with, especially with my students, you know, I say, don't believe anything that I tell you, because I think it's important for you to have your own questions to the things that you're involved in. And recently I've been questioning culture in general, period. I question culture because I think culture could be dangerous. At the same time, it's a beautiful thing because we recognize what it is. Like, for example, hip-hop, we're like, oh, I love this, you know. But there's aspects of it that are toxic that we have to also address, you know, which is kind of what we're doing here, right? Which is what I feel like you're doing with your platform as well. It's talking about the other side of it that's not only the beautiful side, but the ugly side of it. And, you know, if people want to be a part of the culture a little bit more, they have to know that it isn't more involved than they may think, you know. And the only way for you to understand it is to be a part of it, you know. It's not something like maybe before you get in it, you're looking at it from the outside in, and you're like, okay, well, they do this, they wear this, they talk like this, yeah. But then once you get involved, you start to get a little more context, and you start to understand the reasons, you start to understand the meanings.
Right.
So I would say just do it. Any advice to anyone who wants to understand or get into the culture is you have to get in it, and you have to do it. That's the best way, you know. And you have to interact, talk, and meet people, because there is no culture without people. You know, so you have to know that hip hop now is also a global thing. So as many people as you meet doing this stuff, I remember like how it was in the 90s. It was like a secret society, and when you saw someone who did it, you were like, oh shit. You just wanted to talk to them or like, you know, interact in some way.
Exactly.
They knew something, you know, and you were like, yo, let's meet up, and in our culture we say we build, right? Like right now, what we're doing, we're building, you know, and that again comes from the 5%, you know, mentality. Right. But it's saying that, you know, there's a thing that happens it's a gradual collective consciousness that starts to build, and the more that you add to it, the more everyone can then evolve together and come up together. So you've got to be a part of it if you really want to know more about it, and you have to be a contributor, you know. You're not known as anybody in this culture unless you're contributing. That's 100% true. You know, no one's going to respect or be down with someone who just comes and watches all the time, but doesn't add anything to it, you know. You got to be a part of it. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, if you want to think about culture, think about what's your background. What is that culture? What does it mean to be Italian? What does it mean to be Vietnamese? You know, and then turn it back around and say, what does it mean to be hip hop? You know, so it's easier for us to relate it to, you know, a nationality or something. So I say look within a culture that you're from, and then see how hip hop can become any of those types of things and why, you know. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty good question by Jam Ready.
Yeah, I hope that helps, you know.
Yeah, hopefully, you know, but what YNot was saying, especially the build part, you know, and that's very crucial within hip hop, because I know a lot of our OG, when they came, they build a lot. Even in the 90s, right? There would be panel discussion. Even early 2000 events would have panel discussion. Those are like building sessions, where brothers like you and I will go to events and able to like sit back and like listen. You know what I mean? Like, okay, even if it's like sometime, you know, historical facts, some of them might, you know, go far in between. But like Ness was saying, like, you're gonna have different story, but there's always a common denominator. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So cross reference the common denominator. You know what I mean? And take that in as truth. You know what I mean? Yeah, you're gonna have different OGs, you know, with different perspective and but there's always that common denominator. You know what I mean?
So, and you gotta ask questions to get that stuff. You gotta ask questions. You gotta question everything. You know, you should. Don't just take it for face value. You gotta ask questions, man. That's really important. Yeah, you know, and it's a good way for self, you know, that whole idea again for self, to protect yourself, but also find what your self is within the larger, you know, idea of everyone else around you in your community, you know.
Right. Somebody asked, hey, you still get up, bro?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, certain things that come with writing, you know, I don't, now this is like my own personal opinion, even of myself, as...
Hey, can I stop you right there real fast?
Yeah.
Let me explain. When we say get up or writing, we're talking about graffiti. You know, like so this is the educational part. You know, when we say get up, you know, when we say, you know, writing, like YNot saying, these are terminology that, you know, many people that don't know about, you know, the writing aspect, you know, that you guys know as graffiti, you know. So what YNot is talking about is the graffiti, you know what I mean? But I just want to put it out there because some people might confuse, like, get up, writing, what? You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I just want to clarify what he's saying is about the graffiti aspect of hip hop culture. So
yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah. My bad, man. I had to clarify that for.
No, all good. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I respect like real bombers. You know, real people that actually go out, you know, and put their name up not only for fame but for, you know, for a voice politically. There's a lot of context that comes to the reason why people would write in an illegal manner. You know. Because of the work that I do, the consequence in that is not a good idea for me. So
right.
So I got to be careful. Have I written illegally before? Yes. Will I put more effort into that? Most likely not. And so, you know, I can see why someone may question also then my value as a writer, and that's fine with me because I understand the level. So that's why I don't usually walk around and call myself a writer. But, you know, when it comes to the actual, you know, work itself of doing it, you know, I only really learn from actually getting up. That's the only way you can really get a better understanding of the thing that you're doing. So if you see my work and if you like it, then you got to know that that's what I did to get to that point. And from the mentorship that I've gotten, not only through Wiggles, but, you know, Mayor 139 and different people, I've learned that the true essence of what's going on there is style, and it's within the letter itself, you know? You got to have a fresh letter form, period, you know? Everything else around it is fluff. I mean, I can throw up an outline, and I've been doing this recently online, sometimes on my Instagram, where there's no color, there's no 3D, there's no clouds. All the elements that are known to be a part of the masterpiece are not present because my journey now has only been focusing on the letter itself. So if the letter can't fucking stand there without any other extra dressing, then it doesn't belong there. You know what I'm saying? So
right, the flavor.
That's my knowledge of it, you know, and I just try to push that because I do believe that is the essence of what it is. But no, I won't, you know, compete with other writers in any type of way because, you know, I know that some people really, really do that shit for real, and I respect it too much to try to step into their world and play myself like that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, because this brother, I guess Adrut, he basically saw you rock a piece under the Route 1 bridge in Edison, New Jersey. That's why he painted there. And that's why he asked you, yo, how often you get up? Because I guess it's, you know.
Still there. Yeah, that's what's up. That's that must have been a while ago, man, a long time ago. I have pieces all up through Southeast Asia. Also, I got my chops when I started traveling and staying in Southeast Asia for over a couple of years. I mean, I was traveling real heavy, 2010 to 2012, 13, and I painted a lot of. I bombed Malaysia hard. I bombed Vietnam. I bombed Indonesia. Any place that I went to, I was racking paint and I was painting, and that's where I got my full experience. So I didn't really paint as much in America as I wanted to because I also wasn't in America very much during that time. So, but yeah, so some people might find pieces like that too, in different places in Southeast Asia, maybe in Europe too. I've painted everywhere that I've traveled to. So, yeah, but I mean, there's people that get up way more than me, man. Like, shit, man. Like, there's guys that really do, like, this is their thing. That's what they do, and I respect that, man, 100%.
Yeah, cats like Ewok. I mean,
yeah.
Skill goods, even with technique. You know what I mean? She's, you know what I'm saying? She's Lady One be getting up.
No doubt, she's fresh with it, man.
Fresh with it.
There's a lot of dope, like B-boy, B-girl writers, and I love that. There's something that's really interesting that comes with that relationship, with writing and dancing. And that comes also from our mentors, right? Fable, Wiggles. I mean, even the stuff that Mayor does, like Mayor doesn't necessarily B-boy, but it's in all of his work because he is just, they're all influenced by each other in a lot of ways. So it's real dope to see that. And then that kind of like brings together the rest of hip hop into like one community, because now you're pulling in people. I got some writers that, that look at some of my work and they like it, and I'm like, cool, that's dope. I'm known as a B-boy, but they'll follow me just to see if I'm going to throw up a piece or something. And they'll be like, yo, and they might respect my B-boying, but then when they see a piece, they're like, damn, that's dope,
Right.
And I like that because, we're now starting to become what we say we are, right? Which is like a community, but very rarely do you see top graph writers coming to B-boy events, vice versa.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Which is also another thing that I've always tried to do is like, I go to MC battles, I follow that culture heavy, I follow graph heavy, DJ, all of that shit I try to be a part of because I know that it's a part of my own understanding of this whole thing. But I need to know what people are doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, who are the best in this thing? Who are the best in that thing? And I go and support them also, the people that I like, So it's like, we gotta do those things.
And that's what, with your crew, Rocksteady, mine, Zulu Kings, is we have our members do other different elements, DJing. It's not like we just, a whole bunch of heads is break, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's MCs in your crew, there's writers in your crews, there's, DJs, what have you, same thing with mine. So, we gotta, that's that lineage that I'm talking about, that legacy, you know what I'm saying, that tradition. And so, I mean, new generation,
Yeah.
All I can say is just do your homework. I'm not here to, be over your shoulder. I'm sure YNot say, hey, you have to. But it's going to make you understand and value what you do even more.
Right.
At the highest level. You know what I'm saying? So do your homework, reach out to, myself, YNot. Look, we all of us is on internet now, right? Instagram.
We available,
Just reach out and maybe we can just show you a link. Like, hey, go here, and hey, if you want to do your homework, do your homework. But it'll make your journey more, you basically understand it even more. You know what I'm saying? Than what your knowledge of it today. You know what I mean? So you might just know as Breakin, but you just know as Breakin, I gotta train, I gotta do combination, I had to, learn top raw footwork, power combination, what have you, and then do it, and execute it at the highest level in the competition to win it. But there's the other side of how that came about, and why did it came about, you know what I mean? And why is there that aggression? Why do we? You know what I mean? Maybe you don't know, you just see and do, right? But there's always a reason why, and it gets deep. Once you start researching, you like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, reach out to us, honestly, that's why, I have these platforms, these conversations. Once I share this, on YouTube, what have you, and, brothers and sisters can just, hey, here's a YNot and Tyquan conversation. Boom. Just listen to it. Just sit back and really listen to it. You know what I mean? And I would love to, for you to start, your own, what have you. And other brothers, so we get so many knowledge, of this platform with knowledge that the new generation can be like, yo, I can go and catch this podcast or Tyquan's podcast or Moy or, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crucial.
The more the better.
The
more the better.
So I think that's what we need to be on, because right now the new generation, they just see what being presented to them, right? And so, and that's great, I love it because it's gonna inspire them and motivate them, because especially at a young age, right? So, but that's their journey at the current moment, you know what I mean? But as you know, once we post this, it's gonna be there forever. So maybe 10 years from now, right? They're at a different level of their journey in their breaking career, what have you. They're gonna watch this 10 years later, just like us, right? Even when I watched old interviews of Wiggles and Legs and Ken Swift and all that, it's like, damn, I learned something. Even today, 2018, if I watch Wild Style or watch a Frosty Freeze interview, what have you, it's like, damn, I missed that. You know what I mean? I miss what he said before because I've seen it before, but watching it differently at this age, at this time, at this moment in my journey, wow, I see a whole different perspective on what he's saying versus myself 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's very important for these dialogues to be out there, in that space to where, hey, if the new generation, they want to get some knowledge, and boom, there it is. There's a conversation with YNot and Tyquan, you know what I mean? And I want to ask you about how can we as a scene or as a collective minds, you know what I'm saying, move forward in a way that's proactive, and instead of the, how it is, of that negative approach, like the what you see online going on nowadays. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sure you know. And and for me, it's very toxic for new generation to even see that and then learn that habit. You know what I mean? Because that came from the streets. You know what I'm saying? And so I feel like somebody like you should have some type of input into, how can we kind of like break that cycle? You know what I mean? So go ahead, bro.
I think you're already doing it, Ty, with this kind of platform. And having the conversations, because you got to also remove us from our own element. You can't catch me at a jam and expect me to talk the way I'm talking to you right now. Because I'm in the mode of the jam, and also maybe I just want to be there and I want to bug out and dance, whatever. But, you start to get deeper with the conversation, and you start to get things in specifics when you have conversation. So I think that is a huge part that our whole movement's been missing. And Wicked had a podcast at one point, and he's lazy, so he ain't doing it no more. Boy News, and I supported those platforms early.
Yeah.
I remember hitting them up all the time and being like, "Yo, I watched the episode. I watched it.
Right.
You know, because I knew, and I've been saying this before. Also because I'm pretty tech savvy when it comes to things. I was like, "Yo, this is it. This is where it's at. This is what we need to be doing." And I'm glad it's like Wicked. I'm glad it's Casper, and I'm glad it's certain, you know, people that I know these kids are watching. Because that's important, because they also need to respect the people that have these opinions, right? So if you have that platform, it's similar to like a Joe Budden right now. You know what I'm saying? He's a respected voice in hip hop right now. So when he says something, people are gonna be like, "Oh, what," you know. And he has a very objective way of looking at things, and I think that's great, you know. And we don't usually have a voice in that way for our culture because we don't have platforms where we speak often.
Right.
You know, we're just dancing. You just see us dance. Everything is action. There's no words usually involved. If it is, it's done in the context of battle, which is not always the best representation of our thought. You know what I'm saying? So if we're talking to each other, that's a whole different way. That's a whole different way, and I think that's important. And we should keep going. And I think that's the thing. Our competence and our thorough way that we handle the business side of it, meaning like this is a business move that you're doing right now. Now it may not make money necessarily, but it's you're developing something that's going to bring knowledge, right? You're bringing people, things, resources together. It's you know, in a way, a business way, a business model. So, you know, it'd be great for us to, for one, support you because you're a part of the culture, but then for two, hope that you keep going, because like these things in hip hop always start and they end just as fast as they start because of resources or laziness. I wasn't joking with Wicked. Maybe I am. I don't know. But like, you know, when you stay consistent, people will take it more serious.
Right.
And because, let's say, it's not making us money, or let's say we only had 200 something views on something, we're gonna stop it before it even gets anywhere.
Yes. Right.
And that's not how it should be happening. And you know, we gotta consistently be hitting people with this stuff. You know what I mean? So. I hope that you keep going. I'm going to support it. I've been watching your stuff, you know, and I would definitely say for the community that we become a little bit more aware of, like, the individuals who are making moves, because we also can't keep just giving Red Bull money, because then they're going to have so much that they're not going to know what to do. And that's cool that they'll try to consult with us, but we also need our own platforms. We have to own something in our own culture at the same time. We can't just assume that Red Bull is going to be the one that's going to pay us or whatever the situation is, you know. We still need our own voices. You know, there are people that are sponsored in the industry of basketball and music that then go ahead and start their own platforms with the money that they made from basketball.
Right.
You know? So whatever we're doing out here in B-Boying, we should now be flipping that into something else. We should invest it back into the culture, right? Yeah. So I you know, I guess that's kind of like my thought on that, and I think that's a big thing, and that's also the reason why I'm thankful to be on this platform with you, and I'm glad that we're having this conversation, and I hope that it continues. You know.
Yeah, definitely, bro. And honestly, that's one of the reasons why I opened this platform. You know, and I saw something that's missing in our culture, you know, especially our community. MC, you know, they can rap, and that's their spoken word. You know what I mean? So, but like you said, we dancers. So, a lot of times, the knowledge is not out there. You know, just you know, our dance is visual with the dancing aspect of it, but not through words. You know, so for me, I just feel like to get different people's perspective, that's the key to learning. And I'm learning myself as well. You know what I'm saying? Through these conversations, it's not like I know it all. You know, at the end of the game, we're a student of the game as well, and we student of just life in general. You know what I mean? And through these conversations, I can learn something from the YNots, the Poes, etc. Even the new generation, have Natty from Shaolin Production, just different perspective, bro. From all different type of area in our scene, because a lot of times we just wanna ask our current generation, right? Just hey, and get our views, but we don't reach out to the new generation. We don't reach out to the promoters. Has stance on, so I want to get different perspectives. So if people got something to say about certain people, I'm like, hey, listen to this conversation. This might change your views on about them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because a lot of times, like Cross One, I had Cross One on last week. He said a lot of times with our issue within our community is it comes from assumption. We assume so much.
We don't know these people at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or even with each other, we assume, oh, he's thinking that. But instead of talking to that person directly or build, we assume, and then it kind of bring out that negativity. You know what I'm saying? We as humans, we're as a species, we always approach of everything's a risk. So we kind of shut our emotion out and just kind of approach it more of like on the ego side, right?
Right. Yeah, no doubt.
It's that survival of the fittest type mentality. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's the reason why I wanna build bridges, man. And that's honestly that's my purpose in this. I mean, I don't have to do this. It's like 11:56 right now, almost midnight. You know what I'm saying? Here,
right.
I don't have to do this, but my purpose, like I really want to see us as a collective to really understand the value of building. You know what I'm saying? And for me, I always believe in lead by example. And I see that there's a lot of disconnect from the new generation, our current generation, and the old generation. And so I'm like, just open up the platform. MZK got a pretty big platform in a way that, that new generation always, come in and want to get our perspective. It's like, okay, now let's open up to everybody. Let's open up to the YNot. Let's have Rocksteady involved, and and so, bro, like, I'm gonna keep doing this. Whenever I'm on travel and stuff, then I might be busy, but I'm just gonna do it at least every month. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have ZQ on next week. Get his new generation perspective. People can hear your perspective. Now they listen to ZQ, of what his gripe is, right? We don't know what the gripes in his point of view. So I would like to hear ZQ's point of view at his current moment in his journey. And maybe a year from now, have the same conversation. Maybe he has a different perspective at that time. You see, hopefully that's the case, and that's the thing. This is not like a one-time thing with YNot. I want to bring back everybody, I have, maybe 6 months down the line or a year down the line to say, okay, what's going on in your current, maybe, in your current life right now. And you might, in that conversation, you might, be a different YNot than the YNot now. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
Like you maybe
an hour ago.
Yeah. You got into the university and you learn a whole different aspect that we don't even know, or you don't even know at this current moment. But once you get there, you be like, yo, Ty, this is what it is. And then from that conversation, you're gonna educate us on, the whole process, So bro, I'm gonna keep going. Shouts to House. Big shouts to our Furry Style crew. They're gonna have their
anniversary is coming up this
Phoenix,
week.
Arizona. So shouts to House, the whole Furry Style crew. Big ups. But thank you for being on, bro. We're gonna collaborate some more. Hopefully, we can do. Honestly, it'd be a dope video project of Rocksteady and Zulu Kings. You know what I'm saying? Just being one video and just, you know what I mean? And just like what? Yo, Rocksteady, Zulu Kings in one video. You know what I mean? And it don't have to be our elders. It can be us and whoever else. But that's the thing. We gotta lead by example as well. And I'm sure our elders will approve of that. You know what I mean? They want us
100%.
to collaborate and build and what have you. So,
Sure.
but yeah, thank you everybody for being on. Yo, it's an honor, YNot, for having you on and sharing your knowledge and gems. Any last words? You got like at least 3.5 minutes, bro. Any last words?
Nah, man. I just want to say, much love and respect for everyone. I know everyone has a struggle, so keep your heads up and just keep doing your thing. Know that things take time, and just do it. That's it.
Right. Yo, it's an honor, my brother. We'll build more. And thank you everybody for joining. And we out. Just like that, y'all. Peace.
Peace, y'all.